Hello students, welcome to my class. Today I am going to explain the numerical solution of the polynomials and the transcendental equation, and this polynomial is of one variable, okay, single variable. So for which I am considering the polynomial that is Pnx equals to a0 x to the power n plus a1 x to the power n minus 1 plus a2 x to the power n minus 2 plus up to a n minus 1 x plus a to the power n, okay, and obviously a0 not is equal to 0. So they are the coefficients actually, okay, a0, a1, a2 up to an minus 1 an, okay, they are all the coefficients, and these coefficients a0 should be not equal to 0. This shows that the degree of the polynomial is n. So if we consider it in a equation form, so Pnx equals to 0, this shows that this is a nth degree equation, and since it is a nth degree equation, so it should have n roots, okay. Now there are many other processes to find out the nature and the location of the roots, okay. So first of all, let me describe that. If the value of x for which Pnx equals to 0 is the 0 of the polynomial, okay, or the 0 of Pnx, okay. So the value of x for which Pnx equals to 0, it is called the 0 of the Pnx equals to 0. That means it is actually the root of the polynomial, okay. So for any root of this equation, Pnx should be equals to 0. Now there are many other processes to find out the nature and the location of the roots, okay. So to find out the nature and the location of the roots, okay, to find out the nature and the location of the roots, okay. So there are many rules to find out the nature and the location of the roots. So first of all, I am considering the polynomial Pnx is equal to 0, this polynomial, okay. So this is a nth degree polynomial, and obviously a0 is not equal to 0. This condition is confirming the degree of the polynomial, that the degree of this polynomial is n, okay. Now the first rule is Descartes rule of sign, okay. So what is the Descartes rule of sign? That is, if we consider the polynomial Pnx equal to 0, then the polynomial can have the positive roots or the negative roots. So how do you find the positive roots or negative roots? That is, how do you find that how many positive roots are there or how many negative roots are there in Pnx equals to 0. So the rule says that the number of positive roots cannot exceed the changes in sign of the coefficients. What are the coefficients? They are the coefficients, that is a0, a1, a2 up to n, okay. So the changes in sign of the coefficients in Pnx, okay. And what about the negative roots? That is, the number of negative roots cannot exceed the changes in sign of the coefficients in Pn minus x. So to find out that how many positive roots are there, so you have to consider Pnx, and for finding out that how many negative roots are there, you have to consider Pn minus x. So this is called the Descartes rule of sign. I am not going to the detail of this the statement or the problems of this rule, because you have already read this in your first exam, okay, in your first semester, okay. So I have just stated the rules, okay. Now to find out the nature of the and the location of the roots. Now the number 2, that is, if we consider a polynomial, suppose px equal to 0, then if it is continuous in the interval a comma b, okay, and if p of a suppose greater than 0 and p of b less than 0, or p of a less than 0, p of b greater than 0, that is both of them are of opposite sign, then there exist odd number of positive real roots. So there exist odd number of real roots, okay. We cannot say the how many positive or negative, but we say that there exist odd number of real roots if p of a and p of b are of opposite sign, that is one should be positive, then another should be negative. If it is negative, then another should be positive, okay. And if p of a and p of b are of same sign, that is either they are both positive or they are both negative, then there exist even number of real roots or no roots, okay, if p of a and p of b are of same sign, okay, where the interval is a and b, a to b, and this a and b are just the corner point of the interval, okay. So at the corner point, the polynomial, if the polynomial have the opposite sign, then there exist odd number of real roots. If the polynomial has the same sign, then there exist even number of real roots, okay. Now what is the number 3 condition, that is if suppose px equal to 0 is of odd degree polynomial, okay, is of odd degree polynomial, that is if you consider suppose p of x, if I am considering an example, then suppose x cube plus 3x square plus 2x plus 1, okay. So this is the odd degree polynomial, so it should have at least one real root, okay. It should have at least one real root, okay. And if p of x equal to 0 is of even degree polynomial, that means suppose p of x is equal to x to the power 4 plus 3x cube plus 4x square plus 5x minus 1, this suppose this kind of, okay, then it should have at least 2 real roots, one is positive and another is negative, okay. So there are many more other processes to find out the nature and the location of the roots, but here I am describing 3 processes to find out the nature and the location of the roots. So first is the Descartes rule of sign, that is the positive and negative roots that indicates that depends on the sign of Pnx and Pn minus x. In the second rule, if it is continuous in the interval a to b, then at the corner point, if there they are of opposite sign, so there exists odd number of real roots. If they are of same sign, then there exists even number of real roots. And the number 3 says that if Px is a odd degree polynomial, that is, suppose we have considered a third degree polynomial, because 3 is an odd number, and then it should have at least one real root, okay. And if Px is of even degree polynomial, then it should have at least two real roots, one is positive and another is negative. So now you should not be very much very much careful about this, because I have just describing it to find out the nature and the location of the roots. Now I am coming to my main point, okay, that is to find out the solution, okay. Up to that we have find out the nature and the location. Now we have to find out the solution of the transcendental equation, okay. And there are also many other methods to find out the solution of the transcendental equation, of which we will consider 2 or 3 methods, of which that is the bisection method, the regular-Falsy method, the Newton-Raphson method, iteration methods. They are very important and they are within your syllabus, okay. So now I am going to find out the solution of the transcendental equation, okay. So I am going to remove it. So I am removing it. Now to find out the solution of the transcendental equation, okay. So here our process is to find out the first approximation of the roots, okay. Then I will improve it gradually, okay. First I have to find out the first approximation of the roots, and then you have to move gradually, okay. So there are different kind of method. So there are different kind of methods, okay. That is, the number 1 is graphical method, number 2 is bisection method, okay. Number 3 is regular-Falsy method, number 3 is regular-Falsy method, number 4 is iteration method, and finally the Newton-Raphson method, okay. Newton-Raphson method, okay. Now of which this and these 3 are very important, and these 3 are within your syllabus. So you have to find out the solution of the transcendental equation using bisection or using regular-Falsy or using Newton-Raphson method. But I am going to give a very short description of the graphical method. So what is graphical method is actually, okay. So first is graphical method. So it is very easy. That is, if we consider the polynomial, suppose f of x equal to 0, because it is obviously a function of x, so you can write it f of x in the place of Pnx, okay. So this is a polynomial or the function, suppose f of x equal to 0, and it is so this f of x can be written as f1x equal to f2x, okay. This f of x can be written as f1x equal to f of x, and then the roots of f of x is determined by the intersection of f1x and f2x. Okay, actually this is the essence of this method, the essence of this graphical method, that is you have to write the relation f of x equal to 0 in f1x equal to f of x, and then you have to take the intersection of these two graphs, and this will give you the root of the equation f of x equal to 0. So as for example, because if I consider an example, it will be much more easier to understand. Okay, that is, as for example, if I consider suppose f of x equal to x to the power n x plus b equal to 0. Okay, then it can be written as, that is, x to the power n minus x plus b. Okay, so you can consider this f1x equal to x to the power n, and you can consider this f2x equal to minus ax plus b. Okay, then the intersection of these two graphs, that is x to the power n and minus ax plus b, these will determine the roots of f of x equal to 0. Okay, so I have written this f of x equal to 0 in two functions, one is f1x and f2x, and clearly f1x equal to f2x. Okay, okay, so the intersection of these two curves determine the roots of f of x equal to 0. Similarly, you can consider the example like that, that is f of x equal to e to the power x sin x equal to 0. Now how do you write this in the terms of f1x equal to f of x? So you can write this one, you can take e to the power x in this place, so it will give you e to the power minus x. So you can take this one as f1x and these two as f2x. Okay, then the intersection of f1x and f2x determine the intersection of f1x and f2x will determine the roots of f of x equal to 0. Okay, so this is called the graphical method. So the essence of the graphical method is you have to write the equation in the form, and then you have to calculate the intersection. Okay, intersection of this curve, and this will give you the roots of the equation. So I have considered these two examples to understand this statement more clearly. Okay, hope you have understood this. Okay, now I am removing the graphical method because it is not so important, and the next method is the bisection method. Okay, and this bisection method is in your syllabus, and there may be some questions to find out the roots of the transcendental equation by using bisection method. Then you have to use bisection method. If some kind of method is mentioned in your question, then you have to apply that method to find out the solution. Okay, so now I am removing it. Hope you have understood this graphical method. Now I am removing it. Then the next method is the bisection method. Okay, so the next method is bisection method. Okay, so what is a bisection method? That is, first I am going to describe the theory of this method. Okay, and then I will consider an example, and it would be very much useful or very much easier to understand. Okay, so we consider the equation f of x equal to 0. Okay, and in between the interval x0 to x1. Okay, So I am considering f of x equal to 0 in between the interval x0 to x1. So if f of x0 is less than 0, suppose, and f of x1 is greater than 0, that is they are of opposite sign, then there exists a root x3. This is the sign of there exist. Okay, I am not writing there exist again and again, so it is much more easier to use this sign. Okay, so then there exists a root x3, and the x3 will be x0 plus x1 by 2 in x0 to x1. Okay, so what I am doing, so if I consider this is, suppose this is x0 and this is x1, then this should be x2, then this x2 should lie in between x0 and x1. So the method, the name of the method is the bisection method. So what I am doing here, I am just bisecting the interval. Okay, the interval x0 to x1, and the root is x2, that is x0 plus x1 by 2 in x0 comma x1. Okay, now if, so here we have got another point x2. Now if f of x2 less than 0, okay, then what is the point, that is f of x0 also less than 0 and f of x2 less than 0? No. So you have to take the portion that is they should be of opposite sign. So here the essence is the existence of the root lies in the condition that the corner point of the interval should, at the corner point of the interval, the function should be of opposite sign. Okay, so you have to consider, so if f of x2 less than 0, then f of x1 into f of x2 less than 0. Okay, so they are of opposite sign first, so this shows that obviously f of x0 into f of x1 less than 0. So f of x1 into f of x2 less than 0, then there exists a x3, that will be x1 plus x2 by 2. Okay, so there should exist an x3, and that will be x2 and between x2 and x1. Okay, now if f of x2 greater than 0, here if f of x2 greater than 0, then you have to consider f of x0, because then f of x0 and f of x2 are of opposite sign. Okay, so this shows that obviously f of x0 into f of x2 less than 0. Okay, then there exists a root x4. I mean, if it is less than 0, so this one. If it is greater than 0, then this x4 should lie between x0 to x2. Okay, in x0 to x2. This will be in x1 to x2. Then this x4 should lie between x0 to x2. So what I am doing here, I am just narrowing the interval by bisecting it again and again and again, and then it will give you more approximate root after some steps. Okay, so you can consider this process up to some steps to get the required approximate root. Okay, because I am each time I am narrowing the interval by bisecting it again and again, so the interval is getting narrowed. Okay, and it will give you the more precise location and the solution of this equation. Okay, precise location and the solution of this equation f of x equal to 0. Now you can consider it up to n steps, or up to how many steps you are required, and that depends on your in the questions of course. Okay, now I am going to consider an example so that it would be much more easier to understand. Okay, now so I am removing this because in the next step I will use the regular falsy method. Okay, now I am removing this one. So the example is solve x cube minus 9x plus 1 equals to 0 in between 2, 4. So the interval is 2, 4. Okay. By bisection method. Okay. By bisection method. So you have to solve this equation in between 2, 4 by bisection method. So how do you proceed? So the equation is solution, taking the calculator. So the equation is f of x equal to x cube minus 9x plus 1 equals to 0. So here x0 is 2 and x1 is obviously 4. Then you have to first calculate f of 2 and f of 4, the value of the function f of x at the corner of the interval. Okay. So what is f of 2? So this is 2 cube minus 9 into 2 plus 1. So therefore this is 8 minus 18 plus 1, and this is obviously minus 9, and it is obviously less than 0. And what is f of 4? The f of 4 is 4 cube minus 9 into 4 plus 1. So that will give you 64 minus 36 plus 1. So 65 minus 36, and this will give you 29. Okay. And this will give you plus 29 obviously, and this is obviously greater than 0. So f of 2 and f of 4 are of opposite sign. Okay. So this shows that f of 2 less than 0 and f of 4 greater than 0. So this will show that obviously f of 2 into f of 4 less than 0. Okay. Then there exists a root in between 2, 4, which I can obviously say that by using bisection method. So then by bisection method there exists a root between 2, 4, between the interval 2, 4, and this root should be, so this is actually, so x0 is 2 and x1 is 4. So the next root is x2. So x2 is x0 plus x1 by 2, and therefore 2 plus 4 by 2. So this shows that 2 plus 4 by 2 is 6. So 6 by 2 is 3. So now you have to calculate f of x2. Okay. So now f of x2 is equal to f of 3. So this shows that 3 cube minus 9 into 3 plus 1. So this is 27 plus 1 is 28 minus 27 and obviously, so minus 27. So this shows that this is 1. So this is greater than 0. Now the nature of f of x2 is positive. So this is greater than 0. So the next root should lie between 2 to 3, because this f of 2 is negative, this f of 4 is positive, and this f of 3 is positive. So the next root should lie between 2 to 3, because this is negative and this is positive. So they are of opposite sign. Okay. So I am removing this one because the method is going like this. So I am removing this one, the statement. So in the next case, so since f of 2, that is f of x0 obviously, is negative, and f of 3, that is f of x2, is positive. Okay, so there exists a root in between 2 comma 3, and the next root should be x3 because I have already named it as x2. So x3 is 2 plus 3 by 2, that is 5 by 2, that is 2.5. Okay. Now you have to find out the nature of this root, that is 2.5 whole cube minus 9 into 2.5 plus 1. So this shows that 2.5 into 2.5 into 2.5, this shows that 15.625 minus 9 into 2.5, this shows that 22.5 plus 1. So 15.625 plus 1 minus 22.5. Sorry. So 16.625 minus 22.5, and this will give you minus 5.875. So this is of negative. So this, the nature of f of x3 is negative, and here the f of 3 is positive. Okay, so the since f of x2, that is f of 3, is positive, and f of x3, that is f of 2 minus 2.5, is negative. So there exists a root in 2.5 comma 3. So there exists a root in between 2.5 comma 3 because they are of opposite sign. Okay, so this root should be x4, and this root should be 3 plus 2.5 by 2. So 3 plus 2.5 by 2, that is 2.75. Okay, now next you have to check what is f of x4. So f of x4 is 2.75 whole cube. So 2.75 into 2.75 into 2.75 minus 9 into 2.75 plus 1. Okay, and this will give you minus all these things. Okay, so 9531. Okay, so this is again negative. Okay, so the next root should lie between, because this is negative and this is positive. Okay, so f of 3 is positive, f of 3 is positive, and f of 2.75 is negative, because this is actually f of x4, that is equal to f of 2.75. So there exists a root in 2.75 in the interval 2.75 comma 3. So the root should be x5. Okay, so this x5 will be 2.75 plus 3 by 2. Okay, so 2.75 plus 3 by 2 and that will give you 2.875. Okay, so what I am doing here, look at the problem. The problem was that solve this equation between the interval 2 comma 4 by bisection method. So in this process what I am doing, I am just dividing the interval, just bisecting the interval 2 comma 4 again and again. Okay, so by finding the nature of f of x at the corner of the interval. Okay, so the corner of the interval is 2 comma 4. The first is x0 and x1 is 4. So f of 2 is negative and f of 4 is positive. That means f of x0, so I am writing here, that is f of x0 and this is f of x1. So f of x0 is negative and f of x1 is positive. So they are of opposite signs. So by bisection method I can readily say that there exists a root between x0 to x1. So there exists a root between 2 comma 4. So this root can be named as x2. So x0 plus x1 by 2, that is 3. So now I am taking f of 3. Okay, so each time I am narrowing the interval, okay, by bisecting it. So f of 3 is again positive. Now this is negative, f of 2 is positive. Now this is negative, this is positive. So for the existence of the root, at the corner point, the at one corner point the function should be positive and at another corner point the function should be negative. So here f of x0 is negative and f of x2 is positive. So there exists a root between x0 to x2, that is between 2 to 3. So this is actually x0 to x2 interval, okay, 2 to 3. Okay, then I am bisecting it once again. So 2 plus 3 by 2, so that is 2.5. Now what is the nature of 2.5? The nature of the function at 2.5 is negative. Okay, so this shows that now since f of 3, I mean f of 3 is f of x2. Now since f of x2 is positive and f of x3 is negative, so again by bisection method there exists a root. So I am continuing the process again and again, and in the question there should be mentioned, there should be some kind of that is the number of steps should be mentioned. Okay, that is maybe the steps may be up to 4, maybe the steps up to 5. Okay, so I am taking here up to the x5. Okay, now you can again bisecting it and again you can get the more appropriate roots. Okay, so this is our roots at the 5th step, okay, at x5. Okay, now you can also continue it according to the question, because nothing is said here, but in your exam there should be mentioned the number of steps, that is the after number of 3 steps, number of 4 steps, number of 5 steps. Okay, so according to my problem, so I have considered it up to x5. Okay, so this is the root of the equation. Okay, so this is giving, so each time this is giving more appropriate. Okay, so first time it was 3, then it was 2.5, then 2.75, then 2.875. okay, so it is giving you the more accurate root in each steps. Okay, how many steps are you considering, or how many steps are you going? Okay, that depends the accuracy of the roots. Okay, so the essence of the method is that you have to bisect the interval again and again to get a more appropriate roots. Okay, so hope you have understood this problem. So in our next class I will discuss more things about the solution of the transcendental equation, that is the regular falsy method and the Newton-Raphson method. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you.